I really love this film, but it was this a sneaky way for you guys to actually make your indie film, not just work together. I'm sure you guys are saying that's a primary reason, but just getting the chance to work with Beth Grant and Tom Bauer. I'm thinking maybe that might be a sneaky way just for you guys to get yourself in a room with them, because when it got to that moment, I just felt that was just a masterclass with these amazing actors, and I was blown away.
We begged them somewhere in the middle. We were definitely, the ball was rolling, right? And then we thought, these guys are great. They should, how lucky would we be if they played our parents? Anything to add, Josh?
Yeah.
No, just that it was, I feel the same way, and I don't want to exclude Michael Chieffo from that mix as well. But Beth and Michael and Tom are just such astonishing stalwart actors, and as Jess and I, the film came together very quickly, and we worked off an extended scriptment, so there wasn't actually any dialogue. There wasn't any dialogue written for any of the scenes, much less that last scene. But knowing that in the shape and the structure that we'd created for this film, that ostensibly not only the last scene, but really the final act was going to be this showdown with the parents, we knew how much pressure there was on finding really formidable actors to cast in those roles. And so
it was also the hardest scene to shoot by far.
In a run and gun indie, absolutely. Introducing another 3 people to the scene and trying to get everybody's coverage in an improvised movie where nobody's saying the same thing from take to take, and making sure that it all gets covered what was tricky. But I really do think that, we could not have been more fortunate to wind up with the 3 actors that we did, because the film kind of lives and dies on that final act of the movie, and they really brought it. That said, from the original inception of the concept, I just wanted, my main motivation was trying to convince my friend Jess Weixler to chase ducks while holding a dildo and 8 months pregnant. So that was really a greater motivation creatively, I would say, than the parent scene.
Greater than Beth Grant and Tom Bauer and Michael Chieffo?
I mean, just by a hair. This movie is very layered, and first of all, that performance, that it's a tour de force sequence with the hummus scene. I don't know how long that goes on, but it's amazing. But it's layered in the sense that I eat hummus on a regular basis, and I don't know if I can actually go back for another couple of weeks. And then apologies for being the 5,000th journo to actually ask you the hummus question. So apologies on many fronts, but wanted you guys to talk about that sequence, that triggering and wonderful sequence.
I love that it cut you off from hummus for a little while. Was it the gagging? Was it could you smell it too?
It was everything. And I always used to say to myself, it's okay to have that, 2 packs of hummus in the refrigerator. You never know when you're going to run out. And then the scene answered.
You're never going to get through it. You're never going to get through that much hummus. That scene, I'll let Josh take this question, even though because he, am I allowed to say you pulled it out of your life?
Yeah. I would say there's about 60% verbatim dialogue that came out of my own household when my wife was very pregnant during that hummus scene. She did get exceedingly angry with me one day for having bought a second hummus. And it's funny because it seems so ridiculous on the page and has turned out to be such a relatable scene for audiences. We've had so many people say, I've had that exact same fight with my partner, which has also made me feel less alone in the world.
Mm-hmm.
This movie is so funny, but I really loved how, this movie is a big part of it is destroying yourself and losing your identity, all for the power of just the ultimate unconditional love, which is being a parent. And was that one of the driving forces, like just just joining together and having a really funny movie, but having that real layer of just really what life's about, just loving people in no matter what sacrifices you're going to make along the way?
Yeah, I know for me, I just related to the overwhelming anxieties of what it was going to take to love somebody unconditionally, and what was going to happen when I just naturally passed on all of my behavior to my child, all of my anxieties around that. And at first when Josh came to me saying, "What? Let's make a movie while you're 8 months pregnant," it's like, this is going to make me worse. I don't think it doesn't sound relaxing. I already have like a high blood cell count. I need to chill. But it was the opposite, actually having a place to sort of exercise the demons with the friend in such a loving, fun way, totally relaxed me and just helped me hash out and prepare for being a mother myself. Because, obviously you're never going to be prepared or ready, but the most you can hope for is that you've chased a few ducks with dildos before getting to that step. I became much more relaxed making this film and ready for the next step.
After this movie, I really want to see The Lie. And is there some kind of thread between both movies? Or is it just both singular experiences one as a movie goer can enjoy? Or is there maybe a link? Because it's a similar kind of theme, maybe. Or
there are certainly similar themes between the two, and one that I keep coming back to over the course of my creative life. The funny thing about The Lie, in hindsight, I think there are a few Easter eggs in there for anybody who happens to have seen the two movies in terms of corollaries. We definitely snuck a wardrobe piece or two from one movie into the other as a subtle nod. But I think what's funny about The Lie is, in many ways, to me at least, Fully Realized Humans is a more ridiculous but B, more honest portrayal of that time in a person's life. We made The Lie about a couple who had recently had a baby and were kind of facing the identity crisis that brought up years before Jess or I respectively had found our life partners or had really seriously considered getting pregnant. So I think there's a little bit of role playing that happens in that felt very honest at the time. But then once you start having a family of your own and really coping with the reality of the existential anxiety that comes with it, we were able to channel that into this one. So
we could just shoot to the depths faster. We could just shoot right to the core.
So in some ways, this was a more emotionally fortified prequel to the film that we made 10 years ago, loosely.
My final question is just wondering, this is very early days, so we're all researching this right now, but I was reading that Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis, they're developing an animated series that's just NFT, non-fungible token based. Is that just, as indie filmmakers and creators yourself, down the line, not tomorrow, but maybe something that you guys would explore in the crypto space? Because there's so many things you can do within, who knows, maybe a couple years down the road, this might be a normal thing.
You told us you were going to ask this question, and I feel no more prepared to answer it. But I've heard a lot of people talking about NFTs with visual art. I don't totally get it, but I also, wasn't on board with Bitcoin, and look at it go. So clearly there's something about the market that responds to the NFT, because it's like I don't understand will you explain to me? How does this
work? For example, the animation interstitials here, you can actually create that as an NFT for people who are huge fans of Fully Realized Humans, or Josh, some of your other work. They can just keep it as part of their digital wallet and they own it. And then maybe down the line, they can flip it, or they can just have it as something that they can have for posterity, not just as something on the wall, but something that they can show their friends. Hey, I really love The Lie or Fully Realized Humans. And look, Leonard just released this NFT just commemorating the 10-year anniversary, that kind of stuff. Josh, any comments?
You know what? Honestly, Greg, I'm like Jess in the sense that it's all a little bit above my head. But what I do know is it's another way that's putting control of the art in the hands of the artist, and that's something that I am always supportive of. The more we can get rid of all the middle people in between artist and audience, I think the better an experience we may be able to have as both artists and as art appreciators. So I'm down with it. I still have a lot to learn though.
Thank you guys so much for your time. We really love your film. And here's an encouraging note. Both of you are more amazing creators and smarter, a million times smarter than me. So you'll pick it up both very quickly. So don't even worry about that.
Okay,
I
thank
don't
you.
think-
Thank you for the faith.
Thank you guys so much.